At 66, Magic Johnson remains one of the most admired figures in the world, not just for what he accomplished on the basketball court, but for the incredible strength he has shown in every chapter of his life. Yet recently, something has been happening behind the scenes that many fans still don't know about. And when you hear the truth, it becomes impossible not to feel emotional. For decades, Magic has been a symbol of hope, courage, and transformation. From rising out of Lansing with nothing but determination, to becoming an NBA legend, to building a business empire that changed entire communities, Magic's journey has always inspired millions. But as he entered his mid-60s, the spotlight began to reveal a different side of his life, one that shows not the superstar, but the man behind the name. Close friends say he has been reflecting more deeply, stepping away from certain public commitments and choosing to spend more time with family. His fans noticed a change in his voice during recent interviews, a softness, a sense of looking back rather than always pushing forward. He has been speaking more openly about aging, legacy, and the moments that shaped him in ways no one ever expected. And the most emotional part, Magic recently shared stories that made even lifelong fans pause, stories of gratitude, loss, healing, and the quiet battles he never allowed the world to see. What happened at 66 isn't about drama. It's about a man realizing how precious time truly is. This is the emotional truth behind Magic Johnson's journey today, and it will touch you in ways you didn't see coming. At 66, Magic Johnson stands as one of the few athletes whose legacy reaches far beyond the world of sports. His name is woven into American history, his story taught to generations, and his career still cited as an example of what resilience, heart, and leadership truly look like. But while many know the superstar who dominated the court, few understand what he has been experiencing in recent years, experiences that have brought deep reflection, emotional moments, and a new chapter in his life that feels heavier, calmer, and far more personal. Magic has always been defined by energy. Even after retiring from the NBA, he became a non-stop force, building companies, opening businesses in underserved communities, mentoring young athletes, and appearing around the world as a symbol of hope. Yet, in the past couple of years, fans began noticing something different. The once constantly traveling, constantly speaking Magic started slowing down. Interviews were less frequent, public appearances shorter, and his schedule, once overflowing with events, became noticeably quieter. Those close to him say the change wasn't sudden. It began with moments of reflection that often come with age, looking back at friends he lost, teammates who are no longer here, mentors who shaped him, and family members who guided him. Magic has always been deeply emotional when speaking about the people who helped him rise. And at 66, those emotions surfaced even more strongly. He began sharing stories he had kept private for decades. Stories of long nights during tough seasons, moments of doubt before championships, and his early days when he wondered if he would ever make it to the top. What touched fans most was the humility with which he spoke. It wasn't the Magic Johnson of highlight reels or championship parades. It was the man behind the legend, a man who had lived a life of extraordinary highs, but also heavy decisions, difficult chapters, and personal battles that shaped him far more than any trophy ever could. One of the biggest changes came when he began prioritizing family in a way he never had time to before. Magic has always loved his family, but his career kept him moving city to city, meeting to meeting, moment to moment. Now, he speaks openly about the joy he finds in slowing down, waking up at home, sitting at the dinner table, visiting friends from his childhood, and spending long, quiet evenings with his wife Cookie. It is a lifestyle shift that many fans didn't expect from a man known for always pushing forward. Another emotional aspect is how deeply he's been reflecting on gratitude. Magic has spoken multiple times about appreciating the simple things: sunrise walks, peaceful mornings, old friendships, and the chance to see the world with a different perspective. At 66, gratitude has become a theme in nearly every public message he shares. It is not the gratitude of a celebrity, it's the gratitude of a man who understands how unpredictable life can be and how precious time truly is. Fans also noticed the compassion in his voice. When Magic speaks now, there is a softness, a gentleness, almost as if he is passing wisdom to the next generation. Younger athletes look up to him not just for his accomplishments, but for the way he carries himself with calmness, strength, and kindness. His speeches feel more like life lessons than motivational talks, resonating on a deeper emotional level. This period of his life may not be filled with championships or high-energy moments, but it carries a beauty that is just as meaningful. Magic isn't stepping away from the world, he is embracing a more thoughtful, grounded, emotionally rich chapter. And for millions of fans who grew up watching him shine, this vulnerable, honest version of Magic Johnson feels more inspiring than ever. As Magic Johnson moved further into his mid-60s, the changes in his life became even more noticeable, not because he was withdrawing, but because he was becoming more thoughtful, more present, and more connected to what truly matters. People who have followed him for decades say that this new period is unlike any other, marked by deeper reflection and a quieter tone that reveals just how much he has learned. From every chapter of his life, his story has always been one of triumphs, challenges, and reinvention, but at 66, it also became a story of understanding legacy in a way he had never expressed before. One of the most emotional turning points came when Magic began visiting places tied to his past, old neighborhoods, former high school courts, and familiar streets where he first dreamed of becoming a basketball player. These weren't publicized events. They were private moments meant for reconnecting with his roots. Locals who recognized him said he seemed softer, warmer, genuinely moved to see the places where everything began. For someone who reached global fame, returning home felt grounding, almost healing. It reminded him of the humble beginnings that shaped his determination and character. He also started spending more time with the athletes he once mentored, many of whom credit him for guiding them through some of the toughest moments of their careers. Instead of speaking to large audiences, Magic focused on smaller, more personal conversations. These moments were honest, less about performance and more about life itself. He shared lessons about discipline, kindness, resilience, and the importance of staying true to one's values, no matter how much fame or success comes along. Younger players describe these talks as life-changing, saying Magic speaks now with a depth and sincerity that only comes from decades of lived experience. Perhaps the most emotional aspect of this period is Magic's reflection on time. In several interviews, he spoke openly about how quickly life moves and how important it is to appreciate the moments that often pass unnoticed. He mentioned that he sometimes looks back on old photos, remembering teammates who are no longer here, friendships that shaped him, and the long road that carried him from Michigan to becoming one of the most recognizable figures in sports history. These reflections aren't sad, they're deeply human, filled with gratitude for the journey and the people who walked it with him. Another shift became visible in his philanthropic work. Magic has always given back, but recently he has taken a quieter, more personal approach. Instead of large events and cameras, he has focused on direct support, visiting community centers, talking with young students, and encouraging families who face challenges similar to the ones he once knew. People who met him during these visits said he listened more than he spoke, offering reassurance, warmth, and genuine interest. It was a reminder that kindness has always been at the heart of who he is. His bond with Cookie, his wife of many years, also became a central focus of this period. Their relationship has always been admired, but at 66, their connection appeared stronger than ever. Friends say they spend more time together than they ever have, traveling, hosting small gatherings, enjoying simple moments, and appreciating the quiet parts of life that are often overlooked. Magic often expresses how much her support has meant to him, and how deeply he values having a partner who has walked with him through every high and every low. It is a love story built not on glamour, but on trust, patience, and steadfast devotion. The combination of reflection, gratitude, emotional honesty, and a renewed sense of purpose defines this chapter of Magic Johnson's life. He may not be the electrifying young superstar who once ruled the court, but he has become something even more admirable. A man who understands the true meaning of his journey and is embracing the beauty, challenges, and emotions that come with growing older. His 66th year wasn't just another birthday, it was the beginning of a life stage. that carries profound meaning. As Magic Johnson entered this deeply reflective period of his life, another emotional shift emerged, his growing awareness of how much the world around him had changed since his days as a young athlete. He often speaks about how quickly time moves, how people grow, how friendships evolve, and how entire eras pass by before anyone realizes it. At 66, this awareness became more vivid than ever, shaping the way he approached each day and each relationship. Those who know him say he has become more sentimental, more appreciative, and far more attentive to the moments that truly matter. One of the most touching aspects of this chapter is Magic's renewed closeness with former teammates and colleagues. The bond shared between athletes who played through intense seasons together is unlike any other, and Magic has been reaching out to many of the people who shaped his journey, some from his earliest days, others from the height of the Lakers dynasty. These reunions remind him of long nights on the road, tough losses that fueled greater victories, and the joy of becoming champions with people who eventually felt like family. Those who have shared time with him recently say he listens more, laughs more, and treasures these reunions in a way that only someone who has lived a full, fast-paced life can. Magic has also been more open about how deeply certain memories affect him. In interviews, he pauses more often, reflecting on people who made an impact on him, coaches who believed in him, mentors who pushed him, and friends whose guidance stayed with him long after the spotlight faded. These are not stories of fame or glory. They are stories of gratitude, reminding fans that the foundation of a great career is built on the kindness and support of many unseen individuals. At 66, these memories spark emotional moments that show just how much heart Magic has always carried. Another profound transformation is Magic's shifting relationship with success. For most of his life, achievements came through hard work and determination, but they also came quickly: championships in his youth, global recognition in his prime, and business triumphs in his later years. Now, he views success differently. He speaks of it not as a goal, but as a responsibility. Success, to him, means giving back more than he receives, lifting others as he climbs, and using his platform to create opportunities for people who might otherwise be overlooked. His focus has moved from achievement to impact, from personal wins to generational influence. Magic's relationship with faith and spirituality has also deepened during this chapter. Those close to him say he spends more time in quiet moments reading, praying, reflecting, journaling. He has spoken about counting his blessings, seeking peace, and grounding himself in gratitude. These habits have brought him a sense of calm that radiates through everything he does. Fans notice it in his interviews. Friends see it in his personality. His family feels it in their home. He has transitioned from a life of constant motion to a life of intentional stillness, finding balance in ways he never had time to explore before. Perhaps the most emotional development is how Magic views his purpose moving forward. Instead of chasing more accomplishments, he is focused on shaping the next generation athletes, students, young leaders, and even his own children. He talks about wanting to be remembered not only for his championships, but for the way he treated people. He hopes the next wave of leaders can learn from his journey, how to work hard, how to stay grounded, how to rise after setbacks, and how to build a life rooted in kindness. This stage of Magic Johnson's life reveals something truly powerful. Even legends grow, evolve, and reflect. Even heroes look back, feel deeply, and learn from the passage of time. At 66, Magic is not just looking at his past, he is redefining the impact he wants to leave behind. And the honesty, humility, and emotion he carries today make his story more inspiring than ever. As Magic Johnson reaches this meaningful chapter of his life, the emotional weight of his journey becomes clearer than ever. For decades, he lived at a pace few could imagine: constant travel, demanding schedules, bright lights, and non-stop pressure to perform, succeed, and lead. But at 66, something shifted. The man who once moved faster than anyone on the court began choosing a slower, more thoughtful rhythm. And in this quieter space, he discovered truths about life, family, and legacy that he had never fully embraced before. One of the most profound changes during this period is how deeply Magic values time with family. time with friends, and time to simply breathe. He has mentioned in several conversations that life feels more precious now, not because of age, but because of the understanding that moments cannot be replayed. The same determination that once fueled his competitive spirit now fuels his desire to be fully present, whether he's sitting at home with Cookie, hosting a small dinner with close friends, or traveling with loved ones. He appreciates these experiences more than any spotlight or arena crowd ever could. Another emotional shift comes from his role as a guiding figure not just in sports or business, but in life itself. Younger athletes seek his advice not only for their careers, but for understanding how to stay grounded in a world filled with challenges and rapid changes. Magic's words today carry a new tone, softer, wiser, layered with decades of lived experience. He talks more about balance, humility, and emotional strength than about winning or competition. His guidance has become about shaping character, not just performance. Yet with this wisdom comes a gentle sadness and awareness that many people who walk beside him in earlier chapters are no longer here. Friends, teammates, and mentors who once celebrated victories with him are now memories he carries quietly. He often speaks with great warmth about those days, but also with a reflective tone that reveals how much he misses certain voices and certain faces. These reflections aren't heavy or dark, they're heartfelt reminders of how deeply connections can shape a person's life. Magic's emotional honesty during this time is one of the reasons fans feel closer to him now than ever before. He talks openly about the pressure he faced as a young star, the sacrifices he made, and the moments that nearly broke him. These stories remind people that even icons face fears, doubts, and challenges. His willingness to share these truths brings comfort to many who see their own struggles reflected in his calm resilience. In addition to emotional reflection, Magic has also begun planning how he wants the next chapter of his life to unfold. He is more focused on building a lasting impact through education, community development, charity work, and mentorship. Instead of expanding his business empire, he is choosing projects that create long-term positive change. Those close to him say he wants to leave behind a mark that is defined not by wealth or fame, but by kindness and opportunity for others. Perhaps the most touching part of this stage is the way Magic talks about gratitude. Every interview, every public message, every quiet moment seems rooted in appreciation. He thanks the people who supported him through every chapter, acknowledges the fans who stood by him for decades, and expresses how fortunate he feels for the life he has lived. Gratitude, more than anything else, now defines him. As Magic Johnson moves through his 66th year, his journey is no longer about the spotlight, it's about peace, reflection, and understanding what truly matters. He is embracing life with more emotion, more awareness, and more appreciation than ever before. And while this chapter may look different from his days of rising to legendary status, it is just as powerful, because sometimes the most inspiring stories don't come from victories or trophies. They come from watching a hero grow older with grace, wisdom, and a heart full of gratitude.